YouTube, you motherfuckers, I'm back. It's been a while, I know. It's early in the morning too, so bear with me. Coffee. Alright. On August 21st, the eclipse is gonna happen. Maybe nothing happened that day, okay? I don't really care about that. I want to know how it happens. I've wondered this since I was 8 years old. I've always wondered not only how does that happen, but how does and why is what blocks out the moon so much every month to where we only see a full moon for what, 3 days? What does that? Because it sure as fuck ain't the sun. There's no way it's the sun. It can't be the sun because there's no rays coming from behind it. If you notice at night when you look at the sky and you see the moon and the stars, they don't have rays protruding from them. They're not a light source like that. They're more of an illumination source. There's a big difference. It's like an LED compared to a light bulb. One has rays, one's a different kind of bright. One's a white light, one's a warm light, if you know what I mean. Anyway, the sun and the moon rise in the west and settle, or rise in the east and settle in the west on this day during eclipses. It's the only time it happens supposedly. Now, first off, let me get my hair. My fucking hair is out of control. First off, the sun, they say the sun's rays hit the earth at a perfect 90-degree angle. No matter what they say, they say it has to, and actually when you study the projection of the earth and the way that computers do their animation, you have to put in a certain equation with the sunbeams always hitting a 90-degree angle on the earth, which means they always come straight and hit. Okay, well how, if this is true, then how come on an eclipse, because I mean the sun's bigger than the moon, duh, okay? Why doesn't these rays just go right over it? Why are they focalized? You see how they're coming at an angle? They're coming at a 45-degree angle, okay? In our physical world that we consider everything, and our universe, which is this world, that's it, we consider a 45-degree angle to be the strongest at weight bearing, you know what I mean? It's a fundamental degrees in building, 45. So why wouldn't the universe or space or whatever, the depths of the ocean of the Christ kingdom that we're in, why wouldn't they act the same? Now here's what's going to happen, okay? The sun, moon, eclipse. But it focalizes, it comes to a focal point. See, in reality, let me show you, turn on this big light here. Get you a good one going. In reality, the shadow, see the shadow in my hand? The further away it gets, the more distorted it gets. So the further away my hand is from either that board or this light, which is right above the camera. See, watch, as I get, well, actually, as I get closer to the light, it moves and it gets bigger. So actually, as my hand gets closer to the board, or we'll say as a cloud was to get closer to the ground, it becomes more crisp, more of a crisp fucking image here, you see? But the one thing it will never be, that shadow can never, ever, ever be smaller than the actual size of the object. See? It can't. The only way it could, no, it just can't, because I have to go through the board. Then you won't be able to see my hand anyway. So why does that focalize it down to a small point like that? Why doesn't it, this is almost as big as, at least that, compared to our Earth, okay? So why doesn't it take up that, why isn't the shadow that big all the way around the Earth? Why does it come to a focal point? Unless the moon is no more than 70 miles in diameter. Because that's how bigger the circle is going to be. That's, I mean, that's, once again, I've said it a million times, this is physics 101. This is physics a 3-year-old could come up with. I'm pretty sure I came up with a lot of this stuff when I was a little kid, questioning things. they tell us that the moon is 2,158 miles in diameter. It's also 2,338 miles, or 2,038,000 miles away from the Earth. Okay? Now, the sun. Okay, Google, what's the sun's diameter?
Sun has a diameter of 864,575.9 miles.
864,079.5 miles. 864,000. So that's 600,000 more. That's 600,000 times bigger than the moon. So that is a huge space above and below the moon for them 90-degree rays to shoot out and still hit. Now, how can the moon's shadow be expressed as a focal point or a dot on paper? Like I said, see my shadow? See the pen? The pen's never smaller than it is. See this? Look at that circle. It can never be smaller. It just can't. It just can't. See that? See that? That's just me moving the sun. That board's not moving. That's just me moving the sun. See? We don't move. I could fucking prove things right, prove them wrong here a million times over again. If you want to believe it, you will. If you got the eyes and the ears to hear, know, and believe, you will. If you don't, you'll be deceived. I love y'all. Keep that shit real. Come to your own thoughts. If you hear from somebody else, question it. Don't believe it until you go out and test that theory.
I said, sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that yet.
Damn it. Okay, Google, how far is the moon from the sun?
Here's a summary from the website universeedtoday.com. The moon is about 150 million kilometers away from the sun. That's actually an interesting coincidence, since the Earth orbits about 150 million kilometers away from the sun.
What did she just say? Did she just say that the moon and the Earth are the same fucking distance from the sun? That's what she said. Told you. So, you have a hard time believing that we live in a bubble, huh? You have a hard time believing that there's a firmament and you can't see it? Well, my friend, I hate to tell you, but unless you are right, well, even if you got your nose pressed against it, you won't see it. And if you're too far away from it, you won't see it. But if you're just that right distance, you'll see the veil. You'll see you live in a jail. You'll see you've been in the box your whole life. Well, you want me to prove it to you? Prove it to us, Nick. Okay. Fine, you fuckers. Okay. There it is. This is the perfect distance. This is the distance they won't let you get with them. That's why they took over Antarctica and all that shit, because guess what? That's the best place to see the dome. And that's why they have Roswell and all that shit restricted. Because at our focal point, or at our distance from it, boop. Well, sorry about my scratch there on my fucking screen slip, but you don't see it. See? We don't see the veil. We think we're free. You're not. The firmament's real. Praise Jesus. At least believe in him.